I never know where to look. I'm looking at your picture, but
Don't
I
worry.
never know where to look with this.
Okay, I
It's
think
so
I'm recording now.
it's kind of weird.
No problem.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. So I am here, as you can see, with
Hello.
another person. I don't know if you want to tell your name or not.
Yeah, my name is Jean-François. I live in France.
Yes. I'm going to do a little introduction. Jean-François wrote me a comment, like many of you, telling me that he would like to chat with me to share his experience because he's struggling with Kundalini experience. And I realized that as many of you are asking me frequently the same questions, or you're having the same blockages, the same doubts, that maybe it would be interesting to have open conversations with you guys, where I can try to do like a spiritual coaching, or just to have a conversation and to record it and share it on YouTube so that you guys can learn from not only my experience, but also experience like Jean-François experience.
So I will be the guinea pig.
Yes, because it's the first
Yeah.
time I do it. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it would be awesome because I think we can. You can share your experience, Jean-François. I can learn from you, and I can also.
You can call me Jean if you want, or Jeff, as you like. You don't have to.
Jean.
It might you know, Jean is fine.
Jean.
Yeah, or Jeff if you want. I don't mind.
Okay.
No problem. Yeah.
So I will make another video explaining how can you can write me a comment if you are interested to talk with me also. Okay. So first of all, can you tell us a little bit about your life, who you are, where you're from, a little bit about your life, and then we can talk about your Kundalini experience.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to go too much into details with my life right now because it's fairly, not really comfortable. But I'll say this. I live in France, near Paris. I was born there. And ever since I was a child, I had this, how to put that, tension towards what is not seen. Like I was always fascinated with stars and things like that. And so it was, I had a taste for that, and ghost stories and things like that. Yeah. I grew up, my parents divorced when I was really young, which was a huge blow for me, which was really hard. I was like 3.5 years. And so that I'm saying that because I know that some people tend to get Kundalini after having a childhood trauma or things like that. I heard about things like that, so I'm just saying. And what else can I say about me? I have a son that lives in the US. I'm a musician. I used to be a musician. This is something I really enjoyed. It's very dear to my heart, but it's hard right now to do any. Wow, it's so hard to do a biography of yourself. Yeah, what can I say? Yeah, I have an interest in spirituality, of course, since, I had this awakening that was very spontaneous and surprising to me. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out is there anything you'd like to know, like for indication, help me out, because
yes, you can talk us about your, I don't know, your family, your friends, your whatever you think it's important in order to explain your Kundalini experience. Work, what subject did you study, whatever you find important.
No, I don't think there's nothing about my environment or family, but they were never oriented towards spirituality or even religion. So I wasn't raised in any. It was, you know, personal. And my friends never were interested, especially in that. So my environment wasn't conducive to this fascination or to interest in spirituality. It's just me, basically. Yeah.
So were you practicing any type of spiritual practice like meditation or yoga or something like this? How did you experience?
No, actually, so I think it's about 12 years now or 13 years ago that the first, well, let me think. No, I had several awakenings, moments. There's one especially that involves a huge kundalini rising. This is the one I'm going to talk about. Maybe that's the most interesting for you guys. I was walking in the street, going to take the metro, going to music school actually. And, or no, maybe I had the letter before that said that I was going to be able to do that school. Yeah, I think that's more precise because it's quite far away, this experience. And I was listening to music. I remember the title I was listening to actually was this from the Fugees, you know, remember that girl? What's her name?
Lauryn Hill.
Huh?
Lauryn Hill.
Lauryn Hill, exactly. Yeah, I was listening to her album. I was listening to the second song. I was really into it. I guess I was very relaxed, and I started feeling like a buzzing in my feet. Strange sensation, but I was still walking. And this intensified into like heat, you know, burning sensation. And wow, that's interesting. What's going on? But I wasn't afraid. I was just surprised, and I was still listening to my thing and all that, going about, you know, going towards where I wanted to go. But it kept intensifying, and pretty much took control of my legs.
Yes. Sorry, because it is. I don't know. It's with. I have to take the sound out of this. I don't know why it's. Yeah. No.
Okay. Good. So yeah, it grew in intensity, took control of. I mean, my legs started like rumbling, like a thunderous noise, like inside. It's so. I mean, nobody could believe such thing could happen really until it happens to you. And I was still walking at that time, and then it started like getting very powerful, and it went straight in the body, in the spine, like on the spinal axis, going up more, like getting louder. And I had to stop, went up the head, and well, there's no words for that. I could tell you what I was seeing and what I was feeling. I don't feel like, I felt like I was out of my body, but I wasn't. It wasn't like astral projection or anything. I was just a little above it, or somehow I was weird. But there were flowers, and all these flowers had such a halo around them, energetic. They were like beaming with light that I had never seen. All the colors were super intense, super alive. Everything was super alive. Everything around me was alive. Matter was alive. And I was connected to that. I was actually, the feeling was that I was one with all of this. Completely, I was recognizing the, it's hard to, plus in English, I guess I was recognizing the link. Everything is interlinked. That's how it feels. Everything is interconnected. And there's a a resonance. There's a, how could I put that? It's so powerful. It's total bliss and a feeling of love that I never experienced, you know, like feeling like I was understanding everything, even though I didn't know what I was understanding. It's huge. What else could I say? Yeah, I remember seeing a bus passing by. At that moment, I turned my head. Everything was really slow. Time was completely out. I don't think it lasted that long, but it's like so much happens at that moment. Time is not the same. Time is really relative. And remember seeing a bus passing, and this bus was alive, like it was alive. There was something special to it. It was beaming with energy, with life. I don't know. It's like I was seeing life everywhere. And I had the innermost feeling that I was this. Nothing outside was really separate from me. I know it's so hard to put in words. I mean, it's beyond. There's so much that that I must have felt at that moment that I can't, either recall or put in words. It's out of the imagination, really. But it was very, very powerful. And when it came down, the strange thing is, I guess I was just a little out there, but I just went my way and did what I had to do. I took the metro and all that, like, yeah, and this happened. And so after that, I guess it started to reinforce I took it as a signal somehow afterwards, years later. I took it as a signal telling me that, I don't know what, but this exists. This is something you never forget, And so I started doing meditation by myself first, listening to audio and everything. And then I was in a yoga, how could I put that, organization from India for a year and a half, but I left because there was some shady things I felt. And I pursued by myself, very, very regularly. I was very regular every day, not knowing why. I was just doing it. It just, bam, like started to be part of my life. And up until this day. So regarding kundalini, I can talk about other things, but about this experience, this is the first one. Well, some people say that in any spiritual experience, there is kundalini involved in some way, because I had previous openings, I would say, but I didn't feel such a energy rush and everything, like so psychedelic, nothing like that, very quiet. And this was tremendous. And it's literally a force. It felt like that, a force from the earth. It came from the earth. I mean, it didn't come from the top. It came from the feet. And it grew in intensity up until reaching the sacrum, and then like that. And internally, I don't think I had any vision or anything of, I can't recall that. I was just nothing to do. I had no choice. there was nothing I could do. I wasn't even scared. It was so, because when it rises, this power and this thunderous noise inside, it's quite something. But it's like I felt like it was natural somehow, I guess, or I don't know. I just didn't resist, and I had no choice, stood still and went up. And like I told you right before. Yeah, do you have any other question about that?
In fact, a lot of questions, so I'm writing them so that I'll interrupt. Yeah, how long do you think it lasted, the whole thing? How long do you feel?
One time. That one time. I'm still going through experiences with that. But that one time was the initial spinal sweep. That's what I've heard. The first time can be, but what surprises me is that it was total. It didn't stop. It went all the way, all the way, and that's where things open up and everything is different for a while. And I heard that some people really have problems to adapt to that. Felt like I was fine. So no, to answer your question, this type of manifestation happened once so far, with this power, with this tremendous presence.
Yeah, no, but my question was, how long do you think it lasted? Like 5 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 second? How long?
No, like I said, you mean the whole thing?
Yeah, when you were walking and everything.
Okay.
Yes.
So for it to start until it really climbed and build up the intensity, I would say, it's hard to say. It's a question I never thought about. I'm trying to picture, because I know pretty much where I was at that time, so I can estimate the distance. I would say something like 2 minutes from the starting point to the eruption in the spine and out the head, somewhere like that, because I was walking and I continued to walk, and then I crossed the street and I was in the street where the metro station is, and this is where I had to freeze. I froze. I just froze. So I would say 2 minutes, and then the experience itself, so hard. I can't really tell. I know that I went my way, so it didn't last like super long, because it must have been weird for people, because I guess I was like that, you know. I don't know how I was. I just froze in the street and saw this beautiful environment that I never saw. Oh, I have something to add. I didn't take drugs or anything like that. This was not drug induced, no hallucinations, no entheogens or whatever, nothing. So this was very natural.
Have you consumed marijuana or any other?
I did before, yeah, but at that time I had quit for several years. So
how old were you when it happened?
28 something. I think I was 28, something like that. Yeah.
So it was how long ago? Just have an idea.
Like I said, 12 years ago. Yeah, 12 to 13 years ago, something like that. Because I think it might have been the summer of 2008. It's hard to recall, but yeah, about that time.
All right, so you started meditating after this experience?
Yes, yes.
How long did it take for you to realize it was important to meditate? Was it immediately after, or it took you months or years?
strange thing. I met a guy at the music school I was going to. I never talked to anyone about this pretty much until years later, so he didn't know about that. And he was in that movement I told you about that I quit afterwards. They were meditating on the heart and things like that. And there was like a guru in India. And I met this person and we could talk about, and he said, yeah, you should come. So I went there and I started doing their method. And I kept with it. I was going there, regularly, and I was doing it at home too. Very simple method of meditation. I guess it's like meditating on the left part of the heart, something like that. Yeah, if I remember. Here, there's a Padma or something according to them. So very simple meditation. And so I was doing it regularly, and then I left the movement. I continued to do it by myself, and the time I spent increased by itself. So I was still, having a, normal life. I had never had the will or even like inkling to be a monk or whatever, or so I was living, normal life. Sometimes I drank too much, but I became, one thing I want to say, yeah, one thing I want to say, I believe that's important, because I've learned, or I heard, that many people experience, I don't know, it depends on the degree of their experience with kundalini, but like physical pain and stuff that's really hard on them. I would tend to think that one of the key, and it's not me saying that, but maybe I can verify it in a way, is that the nervous system is key in this phenomena. Meaning that if you're in good health, like, you practice sports and things like that, I believe that it helps opening things as well. That's why the Indians used to do hatha yoga for years to prepare the body. So I'm saying this because I was doing, I didn't lead the perfect life at all, but I was doing sports regularly. So I think it helped, maybe.
I think it helps too, yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. You need to have a healthy body.
Yeah.
Your body cannot hold this energy if it's not okay.
Yeah, and I mean, physically, I think, I'm okay, and it's still hard. Not hard physically, but on the mental side, I think it has a lot of...
Yeah, can you tell us about that? Can you tell us what can you tell us about the effect in general that you think kundalini has had on your life, and especially the struggles, the problems that you having?
Yeah. First, maybe I should say, to give you a little more of my story, but really fast, and I'm not here to speak too much about me. It's not the point. But so like I said, I continued the meditation, and for years. And there was activity going on in the spine, but very faint, very quiet, very, very quiet. But when I went deep in the meditation, I could feel it like a humming. And like 4 years ago, I broke up with a girlfriend that was dear to me, and was very sudden, very hard. And before that, my meditations had been deepening over the years, and the energy, the kundalini, started getting more present, more rough. Like I started like going stuff like that, or stuff with the mouth and having kriyas starting to smile, grin like that, crazy. And yeah, so it was intensifying. My meditations were getting very deep, and the energy was intensifying. And then I went to see someone that works with energies and things like that. And then it gave it a boost somehow. And can you hear me well?
Yeah, a boost.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I was trying to find comfort because I was feeling really bad because of this breakup and all that. I was really lost. And there it liberated, like it got stronger. I started like moving like a fish on the table, but I knew what it was. I wasn't scared. I knew and he knew what it was. It was already active. So then, yeah, I just want to say that because I believe that's another part of the process, I suppose. And I wanted to ask you maybe.
Yes.
Then starts something that seems like a purification of the body. I started meditating and it was present. And I was like having kriyas and things like that, moving around and very, very violently sometimes. Can you see me? Because maybe sometimes I'm
Yes,
just like,
I can see.
okay, yeah. You do crazy things with your body. I mean, if someone sees you doing that and it's completely spontaneous, they think you're possessed, really. Like, you know, the bridge in yoga? I went into bridges like that, not willingly. It's something I couldn't do by myself if I tried. It just went like that. And you have like crazy stuff, really. And so I believe that's important. I continued because I knew what it was and I wasn't scared of it. It was, and over the years, it refines and you start to be straight when it gets to a point when you start doing mudras, spontaneous hand movements that you find in yoga. First time it happened, I had no clue. Like I knew it existed, but I was very surprised. Like you start doing sometimes very gracious movements, some with both hands. You know, like this is very common. This is common as well. It's not the devil. This is common as well. Prana mudra and combinations with your both hands, like a dance. You know, very, very surprising. So at that moment, I believe the stakes is not to get too involved in that, not to be, because it's fascinating. And there are other things that happen that I'm not going to go into because they're pretty weird.
Why not?
But
at least you can mention it. But now I'm intrigued.
Well, no, maybe no, not this one I'm thinking about. No, but maybe another time, if you want, I have no problem, but not in front of a crowd. Maybe if there's people and well, that let's just say, to be honest, it can get pretty sexual.
Yeah. I've been told about that. For men is more obvious.
It is.
Yeah.
And
I've been told about that. Men has explained to me that it's very explicit. Maybe a woman you don't realize it, but a man is very explicit.
Yeah, and it's not only. I mean, it's like you're taken care of.
You're taken care of. I don't understand.
Well, no, I'm not going to go into that one.
Don't go into it.
Yeah, we can talk about it later. No problem. But it's like something is animating you. Something has taken control over not your mind, because you're, I feel very present during the meditation, and I could totally, like, you know, I knew what I was doing, but I was not doing it. I wasn't the one doing it willingly. I was just a witness to what was happening. And I think that's very important, not to get too carried away when these things happen, but just to let it happen. And sometimes it can be very, very surprising. Yeah. And so today, I mean, these days, up until now, it's like everything, the energy is much more refined. There's pretty much barely any movements, and when there's mudras, they often come and place themselves in front of chakras and stay there, or nothing happens, and it's just like very straight, very fluid movement of energy up to the head, and pressure on the top of the head, and here as well. There is something that can happen that is called Kachari Mudra. I don't know if you heard of that. The tongue,
Yeah.
The tongue tends to go back, yeah, and it can go up in the pharynx. And lately, what started happening, not regularly, but it happened like, yeah, less than 10 times, I believe. My palate inside the mouth started to feel like electrified. And then a few drops of liquid fell, salty liquid. And so I had read about that before, and I read about it afterwards. It says that evolves towards different taste, and I don't know. It's just that it really does happen. It's really.
There is one guy. He is a bestseller author on Tantra, and he's also a professor of philosophy. He was a professor of philosophy in Stanford, I think. Stuart Savatsky.
I never.
He's Russian American, and he lives now in Florida in a kind of cult. No, it's not a cult. It's like a spiritual center. It's like a spiritual village of people. And he told me about this. I talked with him 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And he told me about the Sakari Mudra, and he called this the nectar of the gods.
That's what they call it. Yeah.
I haven't had that type of experience, but maybe you should take him out.
Why not? Yeah, you can give me his. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to find, people that really know about it, and get some guidance, obviously. So, yeah, many things happen, but it's not. I think it's a good thing not to. Let me try to be concise. I think the main objective is to remain witness to that and let it unfold itself, and try not to influence it. Try not to focus too much on what's happening, or because it's very it has a fantastic quality to it. So if you you marvel about it, and you think like you're something like really special, or I don't think that's it is impressive. Sometimes it is very impressive sometimes, but it's just, I suppose, I would say, that's my guess, that it's better to take it as a process of evolution or something. It doesn't mean that because it's activated that things are, yeah, okay, everything is cool and my life has changed completely. At least as for some people might work like that, doesn't work like that for me. Even though it's progressing and it keeps on progressing towards, you know, like very deep states, like almost samadhi, I believe. Um, there are many, many phenomena, as you know, I'm sure. So, but you can, if you want, ask me, I don't know, tell me what you'd like to know if I can answer.
Yeah, so we're talking very much. You're giving a great explanation on the physical experience, right?
Yeah.
Energetic
Okay.
experience. But maybe it would be interesting to see how did it affect your life, your mental life, your emotional life, your social life, um,
Yeah.
spiritual realization. How do you see the world if it has changed your spiritual view? Maybe you
That's
could.
gonna be really hard, but yeah, okay. I'm gonna try. See, this is why I don't know if things are going well. It is said that this phenomena, kundalini, um, has a hard side to it. And so I guess when it got like reactivated or stronger, like 4 years ago, it's basically 4 years ago, what I told you with the starting of the kriyas and everything. Yeah, you feel some kind of a elation, or you tend to feel pretty great. I was depressed then because, you know, I just had breakup and all that, and I think it kind of helped. But I'm gonna try to stay on focus on the subject. It's really hard for me to address that because, okay, so you become more sensitive. I read sometime a while ago, I don't remember where it was, but I read that it makes you more you, kundalini. And I guess it's true in every way. You can feel, you can feel emotions that are opposites very rapidly. You can feel like tremendous love and you can feel a great rage.
Yeah.
And so it's very hard to, it's hard to manage sometimes. It's like the polarities of your person, because we all have a, you know, like shadow, what's called shadow, dark side in a way, repressed emotions and violence or sexual pulsions and things like that. And on the other side of that, you can really tell that it's all about love. We are like, it's, for an example, it's stupid, but it's an example. I hate mosquitoes, okay? I hate them. I can't kill them anymore. I mean, I try not to. It's like I cannot kill. If there's one that's on the wall and I know he's gonna bite me and wake me up at night, which I fucking hate. If I can, I'm gonna grab a glass, imprison it, put a paper under, and release it outside. Before I would smash it, you know. So that's something you tend to be more attuned to life in a way, to the, you know, life in all forms. I haven't totally quit eating meat because I loved meat, and but I reduced like drastically. I think it's very hard to talk about all this because it's very psychological. it would take like hours. There's so much to say if you want to go into that direction. It does change you, yeah, in a way. You get more, how could I put that? It's so hard. It's so hard in my head to arrange everything. I'm losing it. It's like things are emphasized. If you're, I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time. Yeah, somehow it reinforces your passion with life. But at the same time, the things that perhaps, I'm guessing, the things that are blocking you from accessing that you know, like that dream life or quality of life, that pure exchange with life, those things that are within you get amplified as well. And so maybe there's some kind of, you know, purification or battle or something, I don't know. And what I can say is a few things. I know I'm sorry for the people that will listen. You know, it's not easy to recount these things because they're very internal and very hard to tell. But
I think it's. I think your experience is, it's so. How do you say the word? In Spanish, is valioso. Like it has value.
Okay, cool. There's a compassion that I was compassionate before as a person, but now it's more present. It's very present. I can, if I let myself go into emotions, I'm driven to tears easily. I don't know if it's because I'm depressed or, but no, there's something about life and the presence of people that is so, there's a lot of love that it gets you, you know, it makes you sad. It can make you sad. Like if you think of your parents and things like that, you're gonna lose them and things like that, and you see them and you feel, this is very personal shit. Even though the relationship hasn't been perfect, let's say, you feel such love that you're moved and you would like things to be, that's the problem. Maybe you would like things to be perfect. You would like things to be enlivened, and you would like, perhaps you would like the world to know and how much love you have inside, or help you express this side of you. I don't know. I know I'm confused. I'm confusing. I'm sorry. Yeah. So on the other side, maybe I don't want to go too much into my personal. Well, not, you know, maybe perhaps with you later if you want, or if you can, you know, if you want to help. But there is some dimension of confusion. Questioning gets enormous. You try to wonder, what is all this? What's going on? What should I do? Like, what's really the, you know, the purpose of life? And at least for me, I tend to see all the negative things in society, like things that I find are insane, the way we're living, what we're taught, how to live, and all that. And I'm very angered by all the injustice and things like that. So yeah, there is that. So yeah, your question was about the consequences, right? Afterward. Well, yeah, I truly, when I started communicating with you, I was searching for answers. So all I can do is give an awkward account of what I've been through, or this phenomena and what it is now. But it can be hard to manage, I guess. I don't know the amount of impact or consequence it has on my psyche. I'm perfectly normal, and like nothing really crazy. But inside, I feel like it's so like, yeah, it's very emotionally, it's very animated, and you can have strong fears coming up. Like I said, rage, internal rage, tremendous love, ecstasy sometimes. I never experienced like, going into ecstasy, watching something, but you see the beauty in a landscape or things like, you get very more attuned to that and present. Yeah.
You're weak in front of beauty.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
You mean that beauty makes you weak in a sense? It makes you just bow.
It can, yeah. It can, if you let yourself go too much. Yeah, it can. Yeah. If you just like, yeah.
Yeah, because I have kundalini arisings in different type of scenarios or circumstances. Just like you, I had a full
huge one
awakening, all the chakras open.
Yeah.
And that was like the main experience. And then I had like what I call updates or uploads. I don't know. Like I like the word you're using, the refinement, the idea of the refinement of the energy. At first, it needs to be very shocking, but then, well, personally, I never had
kriyas and things like that.
Had movements. I always just like this, never moved just a centimeter.
Wow,
but
that's surprising.
Yeah, I guess there are different.
Well, maybe you were already more fine-tuned. I don't know, because from what I've read, and I kind of subscribe to that, it Kundalini acts upon different bodies. We're supposed to have several bodies, the energetic body, causal body, and all that. And so maybe with the grosser bodies, it's very very strong and very impressive sometimes physically, and then it gets more refined and more refined and more refined. It seems like you never had to go through all the crazy things, and it's maybe you were more ready, I don't know.
Well, yeah, well, I don't think it's important to compare, but I wanted to say that the moments in which I have kundalini arisings are when I'm meditating
Yeah.
That's the most.
Yeah.
But also when I'm in front of beauty, you see,
Mm-hmm.
when I'm in nature and I'm like, oh, this ecstasy comes and I feel a lot of pleasure and this
Mm-hmm.
is coming up. But
Yeah.
also, you know, I'm a painter, right? So
Okay.
in a museum,
Okay. Yeah.
go to museum and I'm in front of a Mark Rothko painting or a Claude Monet, and I'm like, wow,
Mm-hmm.
it's like it has a lot to do with beauty. So I love you saying that.
Yeah, you feel in tuned with things. You feel, yeah, yeah, you can definitely happen. Yeah.
Well, it's just a commentary, but I have a lot of questions. Maybe if you feel okay, I can ask you some little details that I want to ask you about.
A few more, yeah, big, yeah.
Yes, because I don't know if it's time. Maybe we have to leave because I know Zoom has like a limit of time.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, but
never used it. It's my first time with you with Zoom, so I don't know. We might get cut,
yeah,
but I don't know. It's been like 120 or something minutes, like an hour and 20 minutes, something like that.
we're an hour now, 1 hour.
Yeah, not 1 hour. Okay,
Do
okay.
you have to go now?
I'm sorry.
Do you have to leave now, or can we
Not right now, no.
maybe a little bit more?
Yeah, a few more. We can do another time if you want to as well,
Okay, that's fine.
if you feel like it. Yeah.
Okay, so
So I still have problems hearing you though.
oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
So I'm going to speak louder.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I have a very important question.
Tell me.
Yeah. Did you feel that your chakras were opening? Like, because there is the Shushumna channel and there's also the spine. And there is many people that is also only talking about the spine. Like, for example, Sivananda in his Kundalini book, which is super famous. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It is the Sushumna channel and also the spine. That's how I felt it, at least. What can you tell me about that?
It's interesting because it makes me think back to what happened. And it wasn't really in the spine, it was in the center of the body.
Okay.
That I felt it. Yeah. Now, what I feel is more in the spine, but that moment, it was like I said, the force, but more, yeah, more in the center of the body in a way. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And about opening, it went so fast. Once it started at the sacrum, once it reached the sacrum and started like vibrating, going like that, it went quite fast. But there were like inside, maybe there were like booms or things like that, like kind of, I don't know, it's so hard to get back to that moment, which is indescribable.
Did you feel pleasure?
Yeah. Good question. Like I said, once it exited through the head, it was indescribable, pure bliss, heaven. It really is heaven. If this is it, yeah. It's, but was there pleasure during the ascension?
Yeah.
Good question. I don't know. You refer to what, sexual sensation, arousal?
Well, from my experience, what I felt is that all the pleasure happened while the energy was coming up, which in my case, it lasted like 20 minutes, 30 minutes to go up entirely.
Okay.
It was like 20 minutes of pure ecstasy in my
Okay.
in my case. It's different because when the energy came out of Sahasrara, I stopped feeling my body because I went into a samadhi of the, just I forgot I had a body. So
I did too. That I did. That's why I felt like I was not in it. Like I was seeing it from like just a little distance. I kind of felt that, but I didn't have that same experience as you were, like total bliss for 20 minutes. It went pretty strong, yeah, and fast.
I have
Yeah.
the theory that I am lucky I was not pure enough spiritually, that kundalini took more time. And so, because maybe you were already very open so that the energy could make the way out.
I don't know. I have
Maybe
no idea.
maybe
I,
I'm lucky that I was not that pure, and so in turn I can talk about the experience because I saw it in the
yeah,
slow motion, you see.
I've read testimonies like yours. Yeah, people that have like from chakra to chakra and slowly rising up and experiencing each. No, mine was fierce. Yeah, like I said, I told you it was like, honestly, if I remember, I think the sensation inside was like there was an earthquake. When like kind of like that.
Yeah, I understand.
But I did feel the rising inside, and this is where I had to stop. Once it started rising, really from the sacrum, I would say, I was like, I had to stand still, and I felt up to the head like that. But not the same experience as you, where you could feel total bliss and pleasure. It was
Yes.
not like that. After, once through Sahasrara, the crown chakra, yeah, this is, well,
I don't understand. Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah. If you were kind of out of your body, how could you feel bliss? Because this is a important thing, I think.
Yeah.
One of the things that I have learned personally from Kundalini is that you don't need a body to have sensation. Meaning, what feels the Kundalini energy and the pleasure, it can be your energetic body.
Yeah.
And so, or your 5D body. In fact, I think it happened like in another dimension, not in my physical body, because if it happened in my body, it would have killed me. You see? I mean, they wouldn't have found anything on me. They would have just found a lot of blood.
Well, no, I mean, you have this, you might have this perception now, but it seems like the body is wired for that. You know, it's ready for that. And my experience was very physical. Like I said, it started rising in the feet and rising through the legs, and then concentrating at the, I would say the root chakra, I suppose. And then there it grew in strength and intensity. But it's like, can I explain that? It was very, I felt it inside of me, inside, like we said before, the column inside, like there's a column inside the body, not necessarily the spine. It follows the path of the spine, but I felt, if I think about it, I felt like it was more central than just the rear, the spine. But I don't think I answered your question really. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the question was about the bliss out of the body.
Yeah.
How do you feel bliss out of the body without physical sensation? I mean.
Oh.
If that's the case.
So, like I said, I didn't have was there bliss in the body? No. It's so hard to tell you if there was.
Sorry, it was more like a mental bliss.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I think so. Yeah. To be honest with you, it's very hard to recall if I felt physical bliss.
Yeah.
It might have been the case, but what I do remember was the ascension. And yeah, the ascension itself, which was very thunderous and very powerful. There was no pain though. I felt at some point I felt like, what's going on? Like, whoa, you hear that and it's getting heavier. I felt, yeah, like you said, I'm gonna explode or something. And no, things go, at least it did for me. And no pain. There was no pain at all. And the bliss was maybe more mental. Yeah, but it's beyond bliss. It's not just bliss. It's, I don't know how to put words. It's union. It's pure union. It's like the substratum of everything around you, every matter, every particle or anything. It's like you're it. And it's you, you're in everything. But you, not you, you're a little person. There's something like present in you that recognizes itself outside. I'm gonna sound crazy. It's horrible. Before I'm gonna.
That's not crazy.
It sounds crazy.
That's the mystical experience of every mystical on earth.
Yeah.
Super common experience, in fact.
So I guess if you emphasize on the bliss sensation, it was more a mental one and a sensation of pure alignment, pure reality, pure, very, very pure, very pure. Yeah.
And did it change your opinion or the beliefs on God or goddess or maybe angels, galactic beings, cosmic beings? Did you have any relation with supernatural beings or God?
I would like to say yes, but it hasn't happened to me really. No. I've had dreams that weren't dreams. I know, like, I suppose I've had several out-of-body experiences and things like that. But I never encountered, oh yeah, I could talk about that. I don't know what it was. I saw a blue pearl in meditation.
A what?
I saw a sphere, blue sphere. It just happened like that. I was deep in meditation and the blue sphere appeared, but it was 3D. It wasn't like just an image. It was, it didn't appear for long. It's like I could have grabbed it, you know, it felt like that. It was very beautiful and deep blue. This happened once, and I read somewhere that it's an experience that can happen. I don't know really what it means. But that's pretty much the extent of the beings or thing that I've had experience with or happened to me. No.
What about God? Because from my experience,
Can you speak louder? Just a bit?
Yeah. And I also want to ask you about, if it's not too personal, about God. Because for me, from my experience, kundalini has I've gone from atheism to be super devotee. Like, I've personally realized that that being, that oneness you're talking about, that experience of I am the one, is like,
yeah.
I see that every religion has spoken about this and that.
Yeah.
Do you
They all have
yourself, or do you? How do you feel?
It has. I think you're right about the religions. They all speak about it in a way that's covered, but it's being put aside, and they put people, or the people that were organizing the religions and things like that, put more emphasis on the dogma than the practice and what really happens, because supposedly everything is written, and every means to access that is written in the great books, like the Muslim one, the Quran, the Torah, obviously the Bible and all that. They all have accounts of that. But yeah, I like to go in churches. I do often. Yeah, I don't go to mass. I'm not, I'm not really Catholic. I just like the place, and I pray sometimes. I like to go. I think it's a beautiful place, and some of them are very lovely, and they have particular atmosphere in them, and I'm kind of drawn to that. Yeah. Yes, you're right. Yeah, it's very present. It becomes very present. The notion of God. Yeah, it is. But I guess my relationship with it is, I don't know. It's hard to tell, and not super easy. Maybe, I don't know. It's like you tend to think about those things more and more. It becomes very present. It becomes, yeah, it becomes very present.
I have a lot of questions, but maybe it is too much. I would like to tell you something about the confusion, because I know many of us watching have the same problem. I would like to tell you that me personally, from my experience, I have the same problem. And the more you know, the more questions you have, you see. So for me, the answer would be mystery. Like,
it is really mystery. Yeah, it is.
Anytime you feel confused, just see that confusion is a part of God. It's part of who you are, because confusion, ignorance, not knowing, doubt, it's like the human part of something that's sublimated in another level, is in fact majestic. You see, it's mystery.
I think I see what you mean. Yeah.
So anytime you feel confused, put yourself in that higher place that you experienced, in which you were united with everything, and your confusion has a lot to do with your majesty.
It's a nice way of putting it. I like the way you see things. I can't say that I see things like that I experience them like that. I experience a lot of frustration, because I really would like to act, like in my life, find something that I'm, like I said earlier, I am very dubious and critical about how things are, like the work environment and all that, salaries and hierarchy and all that. So this deserves me in a way. This, I'm reluctant to, in a way, to be part of that, even though I could. But so I'm in quite difficult situation right now, and my frustration is that I really want to be fully involved. Like, I was not an idealist before. I'm worse than that now. I'm super idealistic.
Yeah.
But it's like right now I've over the last 2 years I got a bit more too isolated. But I know I have this feeling that if I met the right people and for an enterprise or something, or to do something that felt good and that served a purpose, and that was, I don't know, creative, or just the right people, and people with whom things flow and are, you know, are easy and all that. I feel this enthusiasm that's very present, that wants to express itself, but something in me doesn't allow me to think that I can find it in regular frame, I would say. So it causes problems. It does right now. It does. But you become, I mean, I don't know, I'm not going to say you or people in general, but I guess, like I said in the beginning, I believe some of your psychological traits, you know, features are reinforced. So for a while, things change. Things are changing. I've changed. I don't know exactly how. I guess perhaps a cute example would be the mosquito thing. You know, I mean, you change. It does change you. Where does this lead? Well, hopefully to something greater. I mean, greater in the sense that more true. It's like you become, yeah, more in search of something authentic, something pure, even though I'm not pure yet, or maybe I'll never be. I don't know about all that. I'm not. But you tend to, I don't know, morally change, perhaps. You become very, I say you, maybe I shouldn't say you, maybe I should just say this has been the case for me, but I know that a lot of people have had increase of compassion and things like that, and this is true, I believe. So the bigger picture, you know, it's not only you as your little person. You tend to see a bigger picture, and you would like things to be different. You would like, you know, more. I mean, you realize there's so much bullshit going on.
Yeah, because right now, that's why I think it is so so powerful what we are doing right now, and because I believe when you have a mystical experience and you realize oneness, you just can't kill mosquito. That's a natural consequence of realizing who you are. Of course, you become more compassionate because you know the other is just you.
Mm-hmm.
At least that was my experience. My experience was there was no other out there. There was no. It was like hello,
Pretty much, yeah.
echo. It's just
Yeah,
like, I'm alone.
yeah.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
the being.
Yeah, kind of like that. I didn't say it like that, but it matches. I think what you say matches what I said. You're just saying it differently, but it's like there's no other somehow. There's only one thing, and it's everything.
Yes.
It's presence.
Yes. That's super common in mystical experiences, like the totality, total, everything, wholeness.
Yeah.
That's super common.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
And I've had, yeah,
what were you saying?
I recall another experience before that, when I was having a beer at a outside terrace, you know, in Paris. And I was very relaxed and listening to music. And it's quite weird. I was just very peaceful. Like, I guess I was more and more in a meditative state, or very profoundly relaxed. And the world, what I saw in front of me, started to, it's like a veil was taken off. Things were the same, but they were different. I mean, that sounds crazy, I know, and I know I won't do it justice because words are limited, but it's like it shifted. Like, let's imagine the world that you see is on this axis, okay? This is an axis, and if you tilt it like that, it's totally different. It's the same, but everything was, I felt a deep resonance of calm and total peace. And there was no crazy energy and all that, nothing like that. Maybe there was energy, but it was much more. There was no colors, and it just shifted. Like, it's like, you were talking about painting, okay? When you look at a painting, sorry, and you look at it straight in front of you, and you see the painting. If you go like this, you might see something else. You still see the painting, but you see another aspect of it. It was kind of like that. And there are others experiences, but I don't know if they're.
Have you had experiences with dark energy, by the way? Because I don't know,
No,
but I have to remember.
I don't think so. No.
No.
One time. What do you mean by dark energies?
Well, I sometimes have what I call black kundalini.
Oh.
And what I feel is that the energy that is coming up is like a black shadow, like a black cloud that's coming up, and it frightens me, and it feels like negative energy, and it feels no good. And I just hold it. I ask for help. I ask Jesus Christ, Archangel Michael, please help me.
Okay.
And I just keep meditating, and then it just passes through Sahasrara. And I feel it's like dark energy being released. I feel like it's very dense and very heavy and like dark and like not nice. And sometimes I feel something that has to do with me while I have this experience. So it's like the darkness is showing to be released and to be.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, would be my interpretation, to not retain it, to not try to control it and stop it. I would think if it feels like very demonic or something, then that's another story. But if it's like pain and things like that, and I suppose it's meant to be released, so that's why it's happening. But you see a black color, that's what
I see with my inner eye. I see this dark.
Yeah, interesting. No, I haven't had that. What I've had a while back, often I think things can happen just as you're falling asleep. That moment, there's a special moment. That's when you can probably exit your body as well and things like that. But not saying I do it like willingly. I think it happened quite unwillingly. But yeah, one time it was pretty scary. I had this energy that was sounding like a I don't know the term in English for it, piercing the walls, the tool people use to pierce the walls. Okay, I don't have the word, but people will understand. It started like, and I was sleeping, but I was fully conscious. It was so weird, and this noise got so strong, and though I could still bear it, I thought what's going on? Am I going to explode or something? Like, and it went like that, up the channel. and I just surrendered. I say, okay, there's nothing, I surrender. There's nothing I can do. And yeah, I just relaxed. I said, yeah, go ahead. And it happened 2 times, and that's it. And no pain, nothing. But you can get fearful because it's very impressive. It's like the noise, it's so like invasive and strident, you know. So, but I just let go and went fine.
Nice.
That was the, yeah.
So there are very different, as I have been talking with different people about this, since I started this channel, I can see that there are many different details when it, you
It's
know,
different for everyone.
yeah, it's because what I understand is that Kundalini is an intelligent energy that knows what to do. So every human,
hopefully.
yeah, it's kind of like it knows what it's doing. So just that doing its job. And yeah, so I don't know if maybe we've been now 1.5 hours, maybe it is.
Yeah, I think so.
So maybe we can maybe cut here, maybe do a little conclusion, and we can keep talking later, just privately.
Cool. Yeah, I'd be happy to.
For my part, I would just tell you that thank you very much for.
You're welcome. Thank you for giving me the, opportunity in a way. Yeah.
Thank you for.
It was nice exchanging about that. Yeah. And I would say that if people that see this video are have things to informations to share, you know, it's welcome other informations about their experience and how if their experience matches yours and mine and how it evolved for them. It's always interesting to know what they've been through and what they did and if they have advice and things like that. As a conclusion, I'm really not a spiritual master, but I think, like we said at first, and I'm thinking about the, maybe people that are not prepared or are surprised by this happening. I think trying to be fit physically might be very important. I think, yeah, and work on the flexibility as well. Could be, and yeah, I think for some people it might be very surprising and very hard. I never got scared. I never was scared. It's like, well, I don't know if you've been told the same thing, but it's like you actually worked at it in other lifetimes, and that's why it happens like that in this lifetime. It doesn't happen like that out of the blue, it seems. But for people that are very surprised and can be scared, I think it's important to, exchange like that and be able to talk about it and ask questions. And like you said, Kundalini knows what it's doing. I said hopefully, but it was a joke. I hope I'm not going to get punished for that. But yeah, it's benevolent, I think, but it can be difficult, and we'll talk about it more maybe, I don't know. Be difficult. Well, I'm curious of what you sensed and maybe the things that you might want to tell me later if you feel like it.
Yes, I'm going to tell you something very general so that
sure.
Learn from it, and then we can speak more privately if you want.
Okay, cool.
So I would just say that for those watching, for me this is showing us that Kundalini is a reality.
It is.
It's a mystical experience that has a physiological effect on the body.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it is so strong that people that experience it never forgets it.
When the
Yes.
experience is of the kind that we had,
Yes.
because it seems like some people, that's what I heard, have it going on, but maybe they're so refined or that they don't even notice it and get to a very high level without having as much as a kriya or something. I mean, I've heard that. I don't know if it's true, but often it's like, I suppose it's closer to what we experienced. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. I agree with you that there are gradual awakenings and abrupt awakenings.
Mm-hmm.
The gradual awakenings may not be total, and the abrupt awakenings may not be total neither. And what for me, what means total is that it allows the person to understand the one. So if you only have physical symptoms, no matter if they are abrupt or gradual,
Mm-hmm.
that's not kundalini. Kundalini, from my experience, in order to be complete, needs
Mm-hmm.
to lead you to the next spiritual level. It must teach you something about who you are, and it must make you a better person, a better being, as you understand more the interconnection of being.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. Yeah. I think,
Yeah.
yeah, I, I agree with that, but it might not make you a better being socially or on a social level, but maybe, or maybe you have to adapt and things like that. I don't know, or because the things that um, you'll tell me later, but the things that are problems in your life at the moment it happens, um, they might, I mean, they're supposed to be released, and that's what that's what I read about the phenomenon, like released from your energetic body. So you're, for a while, you're actually very burdened sometimes, very burdened by what's inside you, what's not settled, what's not pure, and things like that. I don't know, I'm just guessing. I cannot say this is it. I'm no authority, or I just know what's happening and trying to figure out what is going on. But um, it is true that there is a refinement of the personality in a way. Yeah, there is definitely that. And towards,
Yeah.
see, I wonder, because I read that, see, in spirituality, there might be a problem, is that a lot of people have a lot of different views and different answers to different questions. There's no consensus, on, I mean, yeah, about enlightenment maybe, but about experiences and things like that, and especially kundalini. I've heard that some people use it for negative things, like you can gain, different, I mean, you can treat it differently according to who you are. Maybe that's what that illustrates what I said when I said it makes you more who you are. I don't know if that's a reality. If there are people like using it like negatively or becoming more negative, or if it make, I don't know. I don't know if it makes you more of an angel or more like what you are. I'm sorry, I'm confusing, but I don't know if you
Yeah,
get.
that's a great point, in fact, because now that you say it, you're right. Um, I think um, uh, this is a moral question. This comes to whether God or the absolute holds darkness,
Mhm.
because
Yeah,
or not. Because
possible. Yeah.
from my experience, um, let's say that I read this book called The Law of the One.
The
Which is
law,
The Law of One,
the law of one, yeah.
que es de materiales de Ra.
Mm-hmm.
It's a famous book. And he says that if the absolute God is just one being, then those who are serving others and those who are serving just themselves, both are working for the one.
Yeah, makes sense.
So this is the problem when we try to see darkness and light. What is the difference? I mean, those beings that, for example,
Yeah.
in society are
Mm-hmm.
working for themselves. Yeah, they are God too. They are the one too. So they are working for the one. So they are.
Mm-hmm. I see what
I'm not
what
talking
you're
about
saying.
the invisible hand of Adam Smith in capitalism. I'm not talking about that. It's a metaphysical thing. It's
Mm-hmm.
something more profound. So maybe I have to correct what I've said, listening to your words. And I have to say that Kundalini, what really does is to give people more power. People is more powerful because it's more in contact
Well,
with who they are. The way they use this power, yeah, probably it may differ, but I don't know why.
we might wanna touch on that another time about this power question, because I think yeah, like you have read a lot about it, and obviously because once it happens you want to know. So I think it's the fuel of life, you know, and it's the fuel as well for enlightenment, maybe awakening, if channeled properly. I suppose it depends on how it is channeled, and but I'm guessing, because it is usually advised that people that have manifestation of kundalini go into meditation and things like that to channel it in a certain way. If not, if you're not at all interested in that, then like you said, this power could manifest totally differently if you use it to go towards um, enlightenment, or I mean that's a notion, but I don't know. I had a glimpse, I guess, but I don't know what it is to be enlightened daily. But if you use it to go towards that, then yeah, it's definitely a carrier. But maybe it's possible some other people use it totally differently. I don't know. And it has consequences, I suppose. There's a huge mythology around that. It's very dense, this subject, very, very dense. Very
Yeah,
dense. Yeah.
maybe in another occasion, because maybe it's too complex. I just want to say that I believe Freemasons, in fact, they have been using this power. That's why
Possibly. Yeah.
many of the elite people have used it, not in a very generous way, not in a very altruistic way. Not
Yeah.
all of them, but they have mechanisms to transmit ecstatic experiences through initiation. So
It's possible.
I believe we are in a historical time in which we have a lot of help from light beings. I believe that there are other civilizations of light, and because I experienced myself in my Kundalini, I realized I was not alone during the experience.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of beings that came to see it.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Okay.
So I believe light beings are helping some human beings to have this type of experience, knowing that they are oriented towards light, that they are going to use it for to help humanity grow spiritually,
Yeah.
to better the economic,
Higher purpose. Yeah.
higher purpose. And for example, yourself, I'm sure if we can talk about that later, maybe.
So
But
No, so far I just don't kill mosquitoes. That's it.
I'm sure there's a higher purpose in your life that maybe you
Yeah, hopefully.
haven't
Yeah.
discovered yet. Because if you are upset about politics, about mm, you know, the right of workers' rights, everything like this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we could talk about that. I mean, it's an interesting subject, obviously, because, yeah, I mean, there's a lot to say, even though my knowledge is not huge. It's just a feeling. It's more like a gut feeling. I think there are, but that's another matter. We're gonna go astray from the, but there is a lot to say. And I believe that there are a few key ideas that people need to realize for a future social evolution of the planet. Like there are questions that need to be addressed regarding the structure, capitalism, for instance, that need to be realized. And once this is understood, then things can change towards a higher harmony. But it is hard to develop these ideas. It is hard to, it would be hard for me to go into it right now, but I'm quite convinced of that. Things that are pretty simple, but that we're not how could I raised to realize, has to do with competition. People have to question, I think, the reason behind that, what it means. I mean, and yeah, I think that's the key. That there is no, it doesn't have to exist, and having a social structure based on competing with another person is never going to lead to peace. It's impossible. I'm not saying competition is bad in the sense that, of course, you want to be involved in what you do and passionate. Let's say, for instance, I'm a tennis fan. Well, if the guys didn't want to win or try to win, you know, there would be nothing to see. You wouldn't see that. I'm a sports fan in general. I like sports, but I would say that it's like I appreciate competition in a game, but life is not a game.
Yeah.
So you have to distinguish both. But that's another matter. I'm just rambling.
Well, Jeff, maybe that has something to do with your purpose in life.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
Your contribution. Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm supposed to be a revolutionary leader. Yeah.
Okay. So
All right. Well, it was very nice.
End up here. I just want to ask you, just to have it recorded. Okay. Is it okay for you if I record this session and upload it to YouTube now or in this week? Is that okay for you? Do you give me permission?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'll watch it. Maybe I will feel too embarrassed watching it
Okay.
sometimes.
Just to have it recorded, because maybe I could have legal problems in the future or whatever. So I'm going to ask this everyone.
No, I don't see why I wouldn't. I'm fine. I just hope that, it will help in a way, maybe.
I'm sure.
And I'll be happy to pursue the, not even like recorded or whatever, but if you have, we can exchange over this and other things if you feel like it. It was very nice.
Yeah. Very nice. So Jeff, I'm going to put your email in the description below. If you're okay with it.
Yeah, okay.
You give me a direction or some way to contact you so that any person that wants to talk to you, they can, okay?
Okay, yeah. And if there are people that know more than us about all this,
yeah,
they can definitely write to, because I can only speak, honestly, I can only speak about my experience. I have no authority or, like superior knowledge to say, this is it, this is that, and this is it, I'm like in a way. I know things are happening and progressing, but I'm swimming as well, you know. So but yeah, sure.
All right.
Yeah, well,
So
it's
I'm
nice to
going to
connect.
stop the recording. Do you have anything else to say?
May peace be with you all. And thank you for the opportunity. It was very nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Blessings.
I'm just going to stop the recording. Thank you very, very much for watching,
Bye-bye.
guys. See you in the next video. Just comment, like, share, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Susanna. Ciao.